name is Ana Sofia Caballero. I'm 18 and I was born in Bolivia.
So hello everyone, my name is Julie T. I am 17 and I'm from Cambodia.
Hey guys, my name is Isabel Nascimento. I'm 16 years old and I'm from Brazil.
Hi everyone, I am Montserrat Mendez Alcudia. I am 16 and I am from Mexico.
Hi everyone, my name is Aishwarya Vepa. I'm 18 years old and I'm from India.
Hi everyone, my name is Audrey Ayo. I'm a 16-year-old Nigerian.
It does worry me, the state of the planet in the future, because the only thing I can think about is like my children or the children of my children won't have access to the resources I have right now. And that's very unfortunate because they also deserve, and everyone deserves to have a good state of life. And that highly depends on the state of the planet.
Yes, I do agree with Anna. Even though you're super young and we still have a life ahead of us to make change, it's still something that's kind of out of our reality for governments or for corporations to change their actions. And I think that's why we should continue doing the work that we're doing right now. But it gives me anxiety, a lot of anxiety of thinking that, it will never really be enough unless we get this collective action of everybody and basically, the big people who are in power right now.
I disagree with the statement because I really believe that this generation has so much potential. All of these young people like us were all pretty much activists and working towards finding solutions to things. And I think that if anybody could really make a change, if not the government or these, huge organizations, that this generation can. So I do have hope.
Yes, I apologize for my camera issues. I have to say that I do agree with the statement. But what I can say is that there's, just like Aishwarya said, I hope I pronounced your name properly, just like she said, there is hope for the future because we see that there's climate activism out there trying to solve this problem, and people are taking actionable steps to contribute towards solving the climate crisis.
So I truly believe that the next crisis or big crisis is going to be mental health, because it's not going to be the only one. We're going to have a lot of crises because of the pandemic and a lot of things that are happening. There are a lot of side effects. One of the biggest things is that I feel anxious about coming back to school to see people. This social anxiety is something really big too. So it's a problem for students, it's a problem for teachers, for example, because everyone is worried about dying from the pandemic.
I totally agree with the part of seeing people again. I came to school and I saw people and I was like, what am I doing here? If for one whole year we were used to be at home or with just few people, in my school at least were 30,000 undergraduates. So it's like I see that amount of people every day. And I think that causes the mental health to be a big problem for the future.
And the other part is the technology that we have now make us, it's kind of a controversial views, but it's kind of make us less connected with other people. So it kind of affects us in that way as well. In Cambodia, we have very little knowledge of mental health, and even though we sometimes feel like we're having anxiety or depression, we have little way to know exactly that we are having it because of we have lack of professional help. And if you even want to have therapy, I myself don't even know where to get that here. So the lack of the knowledge and as well as the resource that we don't have can also contribute to make it a bigger crisis as it already is.
Mental health is not only about going to therapy, but also about, having a good livelihood, having a place to live, having access to food, having access to, hobbies and things to make you happy. And also, being paid a living wage to make you, be able to live without having to constantly worry about, the day of tomorrow. Even though we kind of got together throughout the pandemic because of the difficulties that everybody faced, there's a pretty big gap between the more privileged people and also the people who don't have that many privileges. And I think that's something that governments and we as a society in general have to think about, because mental health is always about being not only good with yourself but also having a sustainable way of living.
So the only reason why I disagreed is because I think it is the current biggest crisis. Apart from that, I agree with everybody else. But I also think that the way that it's being tackled, I'm not too sure about how it's being dealt with in other countries, but at least in India, I think it is such a big taboo. Yeah, so basically this is pretty much aligned with what I said before. It is a taboo, and this affects the way that people are getting access to help and the way in which it can be talked in conversations openly.
Yeah, I agree that mental health is a taboo in my community. It's just the health problem I don't get taught at school, starting from that point. I've never heard any psychologist, any teacher mention it at school. Or in the case that you go to the psychologist of the school, you go and tell her, oh, I feel this way, and they tell you, oh, you're just fine, there's no problem, don't worry about it. Society treats mental health as a victim blaming, you have it and it's your fault to have it, you shouldn't feel this way. And it's I don't feel it should be like that, because I don't think you choose to have a mental problem. I think it's not up to you, and I don't think that you should be blamed for having it.
Coming from Nigeria, it's as if that question is directed towards Nigerians. Mental health is a silent taboo. In Nigeria, a lot of parents are disciplinarian. That means that they still beat their children if they do something wrong. And that in itself can be very traumatic for a child's mental health. And it's even more saddening and heartbreaking because these children are not allowed to talk about how they feel, how they feel mentally. When a child says, oh, mom, dad, I'm feeling depressed or sad or anxious, the parents don't know what to say. They say, okay, let's pray for you. Our culture in general suggests that someone should always feel okay. They should always feel top beat and always feel like they're ready to take on anything, any challenge that comes their way. And it's not the best, I would say, because you may get burnt out, and that's also another taboo in Nigerian culture, that feeling of burnout. You can't get burnt out. You should be working all the time. I believe that this is very wrong and it needs to be changed. We need to stand up for these things and have these talks with our parents.
As in a lot of Latin American countries, mental health is not only not a priority, but also, it is a taboo. Because I know a lot of people that really need to get a therapy, starting with my parents, keeping following by persons that probably the youngest people are more open to these mental health issues, to this therapy thing, and they are trying to understand more this issue. But the people who has more age, they aren't open to that. So I think that, it's a taboo, especially for older people.
Yes, so I agree with Monse and with Ashwara regarding how our generation especially seems to be so great regarding mental health and how we deal with everything like that. My friends and I, we are super open regarding the days that we feel burnt out, how we are overwhelmed with something, and we really talk to each other about that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, I'm aware that's not how everybody deals with mental health on our daily lives, and especially marginalized communities or people with low income. They don't have the opportunity to have access to treatment, and I think that being vulnerable is the first step to getting better regarding mental health. And I think, as Moses said, you have a lot of issues, especially with older people in Latin America, and how they deal with mental health. They just kind of discounted, and that's not a healthy way of dealing. That's not a healthy coping mechanism. And I think that's something that our generation has fortunately been able to move past, or is trying really hard to move past, especially on the internet. I see a lot of that on Twitter with Brazilian people up to the age of 25, and also in these activism circles that we have here, and how people are open to talk about mental health and their past experiences regarding it.
I'm coming into this not knowing what I'm going to say. I actually learned a lot from everyone on their take on mental health, since I myself am not actually struggling with mental health, but I actually know my friends are struggling, and I'm trying to help them. So by being in this kind of conversation, I got to know more about the topic, and I think I can understand them and try to understand them, and help people understand more as well.